All right, everybody have a good lunch? And you all ready to proceed? All right. Mr. Lamb, you can call your next witness.
Georgia State calls Special Agent James Gibson.
All right, Agent Gibson. Agent Gibson, before you have a seat, if you would turn around and receive the oath from Mr. Lamb, please.
Sure. Yes, sir. If you would pause right there and raise your right hand, please. You swear that the evidence you give in this case will be the truth, so help you God?
Yes, sir, I do.
Thank you. Have a seat, sir. State your name, please.
James Gibson,
Where are you employed?
Georgia Bureau of Investigation.
How long have you been employed by the Georgia Bureau of Investigation?
Since 2015, right at 10 years.
What is your rank, your designation there?
I'm a special agent, and my job title is a crime scene specialist.
Okay. What is a crime scene specialist?
Primarily, what I do on a day-to-day basis is process crime scenes and deal with evidence related to crime scenes.
Do you have any specialized training with regard to the analysis and analysis of crime scenes and collection of preservation and collection of evidence and so forth?
Sure, I do.
Okay, can you tell the jury what kind of training you have in that field?
Right. So first off, in order to be a special agent, which is a sworn position just like a police officer, we have to go through the police academy, which when I went was 10 weeks. Now it's longer, but it was 10 weeks of classroom material training. And then after that, there's 7 classes that you can take to get a state certification as a crime scene technician. So I did that, which includes photography, crime scene, basic crime scene, fingerprint development, stuff like that. There's a bloodstain pattern analysis course.
Where were you employed? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I did, but I didn't mean to speak over you. Where were you employed when you first received crime scene training?
Sure. Before I was with the GBI, I was with the Columbus Police Department. While I was there, the first 3 years I was there, I was in patrol, and then after that, I was in the crime scene unit for 4 years.
Okay. And
that's where I obtained my crime scene certification, was while I was with the Columbus Police Department. So when I came on with the GBI, I had already done that. When I came on with the GBI, we go through a basic agent course, which is in addition to the police academy. So there was that, which was, I want to say, about 12 weeks for that, which is just how to be a special agent, and a week of that is crime scene preservation. After that, I went to the National Forensic Academy, which is a 10-week program, which is just doing crime scene. We learn bloodstain pattern analysis, shooting reconstruction, photography, dealing with buried remains. There's all kind of stuff there that is all crime scene specific. After that, I've continued to take classes over the years in bloodstain pattern analysis, advanced bloodstain pattern analysis, shooting reconstruction, advanced shooting reconstruction, advanced photography. In addition to that, I also teach a lot of those classes as well. So total, I've had about 4,000 hours of training in law enforcement, and about 3,000 or so of that has been crime scene specific.
And have you had occasion as a GBI agent? We'll skip when you were working in Columbus, but since you became an agent with the GBI, have you had occasion to investigate crime scenes of any sort?
Yes, sir. That's pretty much all I do.
And approximately how many different crime scenes have you been involved in the investigation of?
So it's difficult to keep track of a specific number. The number of death investigations that I have actually authored the report of being the main agent on death investigations is right about 200 now. I think it's 197. I've also been a part of a lot of other assault cases involving where, you know, somebody was shot and they didn't die, or something like that. And in addition to that, I've been involved in a lot of cases where I was not the primary on the case, but I assisted in some way in the case. So I've been involved in, as far as assault cases, probably I'd say 800, maybe 1,000. I mean, crime scenes in general, it's been 1,500, maybe 2,000.
As a crime scene specialist with the GBI, have you had occasion to testify in trials or in court, whether in trials or in hearings? Have you had occasion to testify in courts of this state?
Yes, sir, I have.
Okay. Approximately how many times have you testified?
So before 2021, I was not keeping an accurate record of it. Since 2021, it's been approximately 20 times testifying as an expert in the state of Georgia.
And each time that you testified as a crime scene specialist, were you in fact qualified as and recognized by the court as an expert in the field of crime scene investigation?
Yes, sir.
Does crime scene investigation involve the on-site analysis and collection of items that may or may not be of evidentiary significance?
Yes, sir, it does.
Okay. And is that simply a part of the job that you have to look at the things that you find at a particular location and make a determination as to whether or not you believe they have evidentiary value?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, at this time, we would tender Agent Gibson as an expert in the field of crime scene investigation, including the analysis, preservation, and collection of evidence.
You wish to voir dire the witness?
No, no objection.
All right. Agent Gibson will be allowed to give opinion testimony in his area of expertise.
Thank you, Your Honor. All right. Agent Gibson, in January, specifically January 14th of 2024, did you have occasion to be sent to a location on the Georgia Southwestern State University campus?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And how did you become involved in the investigation of that case that day?
So I was notified that there was a case on the campus involving a dead baby, a baby death case, and I was asked to come and investigate the crime scene there on campus. So I came to Americus, and that was my intentions.
Did you go anywhere else besides campus?
Before I came to the campus, I went to the hospital and photographed the victim at the hospital first.
In photographing the victim, did you notice whether or not there were any external wounds, open wounds from which the victim was bleeding?
No, there was some medical intervention that was still attached to the baby, and there was some bruising, some, I guess you would say, light bruising. It was difficult to tell, but nothing that stood out. There was no blood, nothing really that stood out. There was a couple bruises that I photographed.
Yeah. But you didn't. But there was no external bleeding that you observed.
No.
I mean, I understand you're not a doctor and didn't do internal examination or whatever,
Right,
but there was no external bleeding.
No.
Okay. After you took photographs of the victim at the hospital. Did you go to campus, to the GSW campus?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And when you got there, where did you go?
Before I went inside to the dorm room, I went to the dumpster area at the dorm rooms.
Okay. And why did you go to the dumpsters when you got to campus?
In the briefing of trying to figure out what I was supposed to be looking for at the scene, it had been reported to me that somebody had come from the building and gone to the dumpsters and thrown something in the dumpster. So I went to look in the dumpster to see if there was anything of evidentiary value in the dumpster before I went inside.
Is that something that you would ordinarily do if you're advised that that someone who had been at the location that you were going to investigate, if you're advised that someone at that location had gone and put something in a dumpster, is that something you would ordinarily start there?
If there's reason to believe, well, you mean as far as doing that first?
Yeah.
Or
I mean, would you go to the dumpster, whether you went there first or
Right.
second? I mean, would you, is that one of the things that you would cover, one of the areas you would cover?
Right. Well, in investigating this case, just like any other case, I'm looking for anything that could have caused death to the child, or anything that could help us paint the picture of what happened. And so if I knew somebody is going to the dumpster, then that's a natural thing to do, is to look and see if there's anything in there that stands out.
Okay. And when you went to the dumpster, did you identify any items that you thought were of significance to be collected?
There were
Collect any evidence?
to collect any evidence?
Yes.
No.
Okay. What did you do when you were at the dumpster?
So there was two dumpsters there. There was one on the right that was completely full of trash. The one on the left was not completely full of trash. So my thought was, if you're going to throw trash in there, you would throw it in the one that has less in it, where you can fit the bags in. So I looked in the one with less trash, and there was two white trash bags on top. I pulled those out to see what was in them, and in one of them there was some food trash, like I think it was from Zaxby's, from a restaurant, and in that there was a name on the receipt, where when you go and you order food and you tell them your name, and the name on the receipt said Trinity, and I knew that the person's dorm room that we were at, her name was Trinity, so naturally I went through that bag and photographed the items that were in that bag. There was a similar bag, same material, same color, same drawstring, had similar trash in it, and I took that trash out, and I say trash, I took the items out of it and photographed the items. There was nothing of significance that I knew of at the time, based on what I knew about the case, that would help me tell the story of what happened. So I photographed the items and put them back in the trash.
Why would you photograph the items if you weren't going to collect them or preserve them in some way?
Well, I mean, first off, one of the things that we teach is a photographic record is preserving evidence, because by photographing it, now I know what was in that bag. So it does two things. It tells us what was in the trash bags, but it also tells us what was not in the trash bags. So, if somebody was to come back and say there was a gun in there, well, no, there wasn't, because I photographed the items that were in the bag. So.
In the process of doing that, did you see any dirty diapers in the trash?
I did.
Okay. Did you examine those?
I did.
And when you examined those, did you? What did you find? What did you find when you examined the diapers?
Yeah, one of the trash bags had a diaper in it that had like a Mickey Mouse print on the diaper itself. I opened it up, appeared to have what looked like urine in the diaper. In another one of the trash bags, it had 3 diapers in it that were wadded up. I opened those. 2 of them had urine and 1 of them had feces in it. So I photographed the diapers and, along with the other items, put them back in the trash.
When you saw the diaper that had feces in it, Did you see or have any reason to believe that you might be seeing any other substance in that diaper?
No, I didn't see anything other than feces.
See any blood?
No.
Do you think you would have recognized it if there had been blood in that diaper, blood in the feces, or blood in the diaper itself?
I believe so. Yes, sir.
Okay. Have you ever been in a position that you observed such a thing, blood in feces, or?
Not in a baby case, but I have worked death investigations that ended up being natural deaths. Usually it's a medical problem where somebody is vomiting blood and blood coming out their bottom, and there's stuff in the house. There's feces in the house that's got blood mixed with it, and I mean, so I have seen that before. And the feces that was in these diapers just looked like a baby diaper with feces in it.
If you had thought that there was any possibility that there was blood in the diaper, what actions, if any, would you have taken?
If I thought that it could have helped in the case, I would have collected it. That being said, I don't know everything that our lab can test, and I don't know everything that other labs can test. But in my experience, in other cases, like I know our lab will not test feces for like DNA or anything like that. So I don't know what testing could have been done with it, but I didn't see anything that we could do with it other than collect it. Sometimes we collect things just to hold on to it, but even if I'd collected it, I don't know what testing could have been done to it.
Well, why wouldn't you collect every single piece of every item that you observe or that you run across or that you see that might possibly be related to the case in some way, and worry about whether it matters or not later? Why wouldn't you just collect everything?
So in a perfect world, we would just take the entire dumpster and bring it back and keep it forever. And every other case that I investigate, we would just box up the entire house and take it with us. Unfortunately, we can't do that. That's not practical. So we have to try to determine what's important in the case. And I do, a lot of times I will find something that it may not mean anything to me at the time, but I know that it stands out and it may mean something later, so it gets collected. So there's lots of times in our evidence room, there's things that you look back a year or two later and you wonder why we still have that, because it's not evidentiary. But I try to err on the side of caution, but like in this case, 4 dirty diapers just didn't seem like something that needed to be collected in the case.
Did you take anything out of that trash can?
No, sir, I just photographed.
Okay. So when you photograph something, do you, as a GBI crime scene specialist, do you assign each item that you photograph a photographic exhibit number?
I don't. When it comes out of the camera, it's got a number associated with it.
Well, what's the number that's associated with it when it comes out of the camera? What is that number? What does it represent?
The camera numbers the photographs in sequence, so each one of them has a different file name.
It's a file name, right?
Right.
It's a file name, or whatever, 123.jpg.
That's correct.
234.jpg, right?
Correct.
Okay. Did you do anything in this case that was intended to demarcate or preserve the diapers as an evidentiary matter in terms of, giving it a special label, a special exhibit number, or did you just take pictures of them when you took pictures of everything else?
Right, I just photographed them.
Okay. Is part of your training designed to help you make those decisions as to whether or not in any given case and any given item may or may not be of evidentiary value?
Sure. You know, based on, I hate to use the phrase, but knowledge, training, and experience, my knowledge tells me when something looks out of place and to take that. My training tells me how to preserve that, you know, for a case. And my experience being going to lots and lots of crime scenes, there's things that somebody else may not see as evidentiary, or they may not think that it would mean something in the case, and based on the cases that I've worked, I may recognize that it could possibly mean something. And I take all of those three into account and try to determine what I need to take back and what doesn't need to go back. Because like I said, in a perfect world, we would take everything, but that's just not practical to take everything.
Is it fair to say that making those judgments and making those decisions is sort of part and parcel of your job?
Yes.
After you examine the items in the dumpster outside this dormitory on the GSW campus, did you go inside?
Yes, sir, I did.
And when you went inside, where did you go?
It was room 158, I believe it was.
Okay. I'm going to show you I tell you what, I'm going to. I'm going to hand you a stack of photographs, and I'm going to ask you to look them over, and then I'll have a few questions about each one individually after
Sure.
that. Okay. Once he's had a chance to look at it. I'm going to hand you a series of photographs that are marked as States Exhibits 4 through 19. And first, just take a quick look at those, and then and tell me if you recognize what you're holding. You recognize those?
Yes, sir, I do.
Did you take these photographs?
Yes, sir, I did.
Do each of these photographs fairly and accurately depict what is shown in them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these are photographs for summary purposes, just from the outside of the door into the dorm room that's in question here. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And then pictures inside the room.
That's correct.
Okay. Your Honor, what I will identify each of them separately, and I guess I'll just tender them each separately, but without asking additional foundation questions. Okay, States Exhibit 4. What is shown in States 4?
That is the I guess you would call that the exterior door for the dorm room.
Okay. Go ahead.
I don't mean to get ahead, but on the inside of that door, there are two additional doors going into the dorm room. So this was the doorway from the hall.
Tender States 4 at this time, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Submitted without objection.
there we go. Okay. All right. Stage 4. That's the door from the hallway into the suite or whatever. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. State's Exhibit 5. What happened when you took the picture of State's Exhibit 5? What is that?
That's basically from the same point of view with the door open looking into the, I guess you'd say the common area between the two dorm rooms.
And which is exhibited now on the screen here. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. So you can see two doors there.
Tender the exhibits
I
before you-
apologize, Your Honor. Tender states 5.
All right. Any objection?
Yeah, I do not object. If it was streamlined, I will stipulate that I have no objection to 5 through 19 being
Okay.
introduced into evidence.
All right. That'll ease the transition to
Well,
because
yes,
what it is, ladies and gentlemen, the picture can't be shown to you until it's technically admitted into evidence. So I'm going to admit exhibits 5 through 19 into evidence.
And I'll just try to make sure that each one, as we go to it, that it's clear what it's a picture of.
I understand.
Okay, so 5 is showing basically from the hallway into the room, shows the two doors on the back side of the suite. Is that right?
Right. So from this door, there's a little, like a common area when you pass through this door on the right side, there was a counter space. To the left side was a bathroom area. And then directly in front, you can see doors that are in the common area that lead to two separate dorm rooms.
State's Exhibit 6. What is shown in State 6? Look up there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, since they're all admitted, I'll just put them
Okay.
up there instead of holding these up.
Sure. That is just that common area. You can see the counter on the right, and there's a bath mat, a rug on the floor. And then there's in the top of the photograph to the left, there's an open door, which was the room 158, and then on the right was an additional dorm room.
Were you able to make a determination as to who the occupants were, the normal occupants were of each of those rooms?
Yes. The defendant's dorm room was the one on the left that had the door open.
So it's 158, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When as shown in State's Exhibit 6, where you can see the bath mat, was there anything notable about the bath mat or anything of significance that you took note of, or potential significance that you took note of with regard to the bath mat?
There was one stain on the bath mat that appeared to be maybe vomit or something. It was very small, maybe 2 inches long and 1 inch wide. It was a very small stain.
Is it reflected in the photograph? Can you point for the jury to show where it's at?
I don't know that you could see it in this photograph because it was so small.
Okay.
And it's hard to see from here. If you'd like me to get up.
Yeah. You're welcome to step in and see if you.
Okay. Yes, it's right in the center, about the center of the carpet.
Okay. And sort of a brownish spot that's right in the center there?
Yes.
Okay. Now, did you, when you noted that it appeared to be vomit, did that prompt you to take that bath mat into evidence, to collect it and bag it and tag it, preserve it for testing?
No.
Okay. Why wouldn't you do that?
Because kind of like with the baby diaper, I don't know what testing could be done from the vomit. So photographically documenting it, that it was there, I felt at the time would suffice.
Does the crime lab test vomit for DNA, for instance?
Not that I know of.
Okay. All right. State's Exhibit 7, which I'm about to display, what is shown in State's Exhibit 7?
Okay.
If it's easier for you to sit where you can see the screen, or whichever one's easier for you to see, you're welcome to do that.
Sure. This was standing in the common area looking into the defendant's dorm room.
Okay. And then Was there a point when you entered the dorm room that you were looking, that you had believed or thought that there might be an air mattress of some sort in the dorm room?
So the whole time I was processing the scene, I was in contact with the case agent who was giving me updates of things to possibly be looking for. In this kind of case, when there's not a lot of visible injuries on the child and it's very early on in the investigations, sometimes when you go in a scene like this, I can take overall photographs, but I don't know what I'm looking for. And so I was told something about an air mattress to see if there was an air mattress, and I did find an air mattress, and I photographed it.
Okay. And State's Exhibit 8 that is on the screen now, does that show the air mattress in the location where you found it?
Yes.
Okay. Where in that photograph is the air mattress?
It's the black item in the top center.
Okay. Did you unroll that item to determine what in fact it was?
I do remember taking it out. I don't remember completely unfolding it, but I did verify that it was an air mattress.
State's Exhibit 9, which is on the screen now, did you take that one?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And once you had determined that this item was an air mattress, did you believe that there was anything further that you needed to determine with regard to that item?
No.
Simply, we're trying to confirm whether or not there was an air mattress in the room.
Correct. And I unfolded it enough to determine that, yes, it was an air mattress. And at that point, I still, to this day, I don't know what the air mattress, what role it played. It was more of a question of, is there an air mattress in the room? Yes, there was an air mattress in the room.
Okay. Now, let me show you State's Exhibit 10 and have you tell the jury what they're seeing here, please.
So when you come into the doorway of the dormitory, the dorm room, on the right-hand side, there was like a desk that was against that wall, and this is just showing the top of the desk and the items that are on the desk.
So you see the blue item that's sort of that's nearest at the bottom of the picture?
Yes.
Blue cup. What's that?
What I would call a sippy cup.
Okay. Now you have a case that's involving an infant. Why wouldn't you seize the sippy cup so that you can test it for DNA to determine if that is the infant's sippy cup?
Because I would expect it to be the infant sippy cup. There was no reason for it not to be there. I mean, there was a child in the room. To find items related to the child was not, it wouldn't answer any questions for us.
Okay. You see there, it looks like maybe there's a computer in that picture right past where that Mountain Dew bottle is.
Yes.
Is there an item on top of that computer, on top of that black item?
The bags?
No, to the left, the small red item.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there was a pacifier.
Okay. Did you collect the pacifier?
I did not.
Okay. So why wouldn't you collect the pacifier so that you could test to determine if this is the pacifier that J.D. Angeles had used before he died?
I wouldn't have believed it belonged to anybody else. It was the child in the room, and it, in my opinion, it didn't tell the story of what happened to the child. By simply having a pacifier in the room or a sippy cup would not help me in my case of determining what happened to the child.
Is it fair to say that the significance of those items, if any, is simply that they show that a child has been in that room?
That's all that, in my opinion, that's all they showed, was that there had been a child in there.
Okay. All right. State's Exhibit 11, which I am about to display, that is State's Exhibit 11. Behind that computer where the pacifier is, you see a sort of a silver bag of some sort that's open there?
Yes.
What's in that bag, if you recall?
I don't remember the brand. It looks to be some sort of chips or something.
I'll show you states 12. Did you take this picture as well, Lyson?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, back there where the bed is, you see that pink chair?
Yes.
Okay. Behind the pink chair, what is that green item?
Step stool.
Right. Did you measure the bed to determine how high the bed frame or the top of the mattress was off the ground?
Yes, I measured from the mattress to the floor, and it was approximately 40 inches.
Okay. Did you measure anything with regard to that pink chair?
I did. I measured from the seat of it, from the front of the seat to the floor, and that was approximately 13 inches above the floor.
So the bed was 40 inches high and the front of the chair was 13 inches high?
Yes,
off
sir.
the floor. Okay. States Exhibit 13, did you collect the chair?
I did not.
Well, why wouldn't you collect the chair so that you can test the cushion to see if the child had left contact DNA in the cushion of the chair?
I photographed the chair. I didn't see anything that stood out as far as blood or anything on the chair. A lot of times in these investigations, there's questions about whether somebody fell off of an item or fell out of a chair onto the floor, and so that's why I measured it. And so that's all I did was measure the height of it. I didn't see anything out of the ordinary with the chair, so it didn't get collected.
Is there anything about the chair that you think could, you as an investigator or this jury as a decision maker, is there anything about the chair that you think would be that you would learn from having the chair here in person to look at as opposed to simply having a photograph of it?
No.
All right. State's Exhibit 14. Let's see, maybe one picture too early there. We go back to State's Exhibit 14. What are those items that, well, first let me ask you, what was the purpose of taking this picture?
So there was two purposes of taking this picture. First off, whenever I photograph a crime scene, the standard way to photograph a crime scene is before you touch anything or move anything around, you take what we would call overall photographs. You try to make sure that everything that you can see that's in plain view is in a photograph somewhere. So they're a little bit out of sequence as far as the way that they've been shown today, but I would walk in, I would show the desk that was on the right, the floor in front of the desk, the bed. This is looking to the left just inside the door to show what is in that general area. The second purpose of this photograph was there's gray bags on the floor that came from, I believe they were Walmart bags that were sitting in the middle of the floor. So it was to show where the Walmart bags were in relation to everything else in the room.
Did you have any belief or understanding that a Walmart shopping bag might have some significance in this case?
Yes.
Okay. And what was your understanding of what the significance of the Walmart bags was?
Sure. In my briefing that I got trying to determine what we're looking for in this case, I was told that the father of the victim had apparently run some errands, gone to, I think it was Walmart and Pizza Hut, and come back to the dorm before finding the child in the room. And so these were evidence that he had been to Walmart.
After you took this picture, did you move closer and take another series of pictures regarding the bag?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. Let me show you what has been marked as, or admitted rather, as states 15. You photographed that? You took that photograph?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And did you then open the bags?
I did.
Okay. And is that what is shown in states 16?
Yes. Yes, sir, it is.
Now, did you collect the items that were in the bag?
No, sir, I didn't.
You simply opened the bag.
That's correct.
Did you take another photograph, though, at the point after you opened the bag, did you think?
I think I photographed the receipt, more close-up of the receipt after that.
And I'm going to show you what's been admitted as states 17. Is that the photograph you're referring to?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay. And that Walmart receipt, if you can read it from there, can you tell the date and time showing, you know, that receipt was printed?
January 14th, 2024 at 12:14 p.m.
Now, was there anything about that receipt that you thought was significant?
Not with what may have happened to the child. It was just evidence that somebody had been at Walmart at that date and time and bought those items.
Okay.
So it
And-
may help tell the story of whoever was there at Walmart, but in my opinion, it didn't tell the story of what happened to the child while that person was at Walmart.
Even though that receipt might be important for the purpose of showing that someone had left that room and gone to Walmart, or, well, maybe not left that room, but that someone had come to that room from Walmart, other than that, was there anything of evidentiary significance about it?
Not that I remember.
Okay. So did you collect it for analysis in some way?
I did not.
You said that there was also photographs of a pizza box somewhere in the room. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want to show you states 18, and if you can tell me what is shown in states 18. There it is.
This was when you come into the room, looking slightly to the left. The little piece of furniture with the pastel colors with the drawers, that was at the foot of the bed, and in the right hand side of the photograph is the foot of the bed, and there's a Pizza Hut box on top of the bed.
And then did you take another picture at some point of the box itself?
Yes, sir, I did.
Is that what's shown in states 19?
Yes, sir.
And was there any reason to collect the item?
No, sir.
Simply wanted to document that it was there.
Correct.
Was there any item at the scene, in the dumpsters, at the hospital, any other location that you attended, was there any item that, in your judgment, was an item of evidentiary significance that you simply ignored or did not collect?
No, sir.
Nothing further of this witness at this time, Your Honor.
All right. Cross-examination?
Your Honor, may we approach for a moment?
Yes, sir. Recess, so everybody can get comfortable. If use the restroom if you need to, and we'll come right back in at 2 o'clock. All right.
Since I haven't started, rather
Oh,
than make
okay.
him redirect, I've agreed to allow him to go ahead.
All right, Mr. Lane.
Quick questions, Your Honor, a topic I meant to cover but did not. After the items in the dumpster, after you photographed them, what did you do with them?
Just put them back in the dumpster. I put them back in the bags and back in the dumpster.
So you dumped them out on the ground, took pictures of them, and then put them back in the bags and
Put them back in the dumpster.
put them back in the
yes,
dumpster. Okay. So did you ever take possession of them in the sense of bagging and tagging them and quote, taking them into evidence?
No, no, sir.
And when you made the decision that the dirty diaper did not have evidentiary value because there was no apparent blood or anything else to it, when you made that decision, were you anticipating that someday someone might make a motion to test the item which you never collected?
No. If I thought that there was any reason to ever test it, I would have collected it.
You would have collected it. Even if you didn't think that necessarily that we needed to test it, if you thought that it might be worthy of testing, would you collect it?
Right. I mean, contrary to what some believe, I mean, we don't work for the prosecution or the defense. We work to try to figure out what happened, and if I thought that it could answer some questions about the scene, I would have collected it.
Nothing further.
All right, cross-examination.
James Gibson, I'm T. Gamble, I represent Ms. Poague. How are you today?
Doing well.
Now, you said you don't work for the prosecution, correct?
That's correct.
And you've testified in court 20 times or more as an expert, correct?
Yes.
Tell me how many times you've testified as an expert for the defense.
I've been called once or twice, and they never actually have me in court.
So you've never testified on behalf of a criminal defendant in a courtroom, correct?
That's correct.
Now, as the special agent that is here doing the crime scene workup, I guess I would call it, you were called to the scene. Were you given some background information about the case before you got there?
Yes, sir.
You knew it involved a child that was a year and a half old that had been had some traumatizing injuries, correct?
Yes, sir.
I think you've already testified that you actually went to the hospital and took some photographs of the child, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
And I think you said earlier that it had some slight bruising, correct?
Yes, sir.
And would it be fair to state that on the torso of the child, from the neck to down to his hips, in that area, if you were just visually looking at it, you wouldn't see any real injuries, correct?
No, in fact, the two injuries that I noted in my paperwork was there was a small bruise on, I think it was the left cheek, and there was what appeared to be maybe a bruise on, I think it was the right side of the head, but the hair covered it up and it was difficult to see.
Well, it's fair to state that even the bruising that you saw was in that slight range that you described when you testified on direct, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so just in viewing the child without knowing anything else at that time, it wouldn't necessarily make you determine or think that severe injuries had happened to the child, correct?
I mean, other than the fact that the child was no longer living, and me not being a medical doctor, I was unaware of what could have caused the death. I mean, nothing stood out. Like, obviously, you go to a shooting scene and there's holes in the victim. None of that was there. So, I mean, I didn't know what could have caused the death.
But you have been to scenes where people have been beaten to death, have you not?
Yes.
And you've been able to see noticeable marks on them that will let you know as soon as you looked at that person that, boy, that person had been beaten, correct?
Absolutely.
And you weren't looking at something like that just when you knew the child was not alive, so something had happened.
That's correct.
But there was nothing to view to alarm you to that range of just visualizing, was it?
Right. Based on my experience, there was nothing that I could see that stood out that would have obviously caused the death of the child, no.
Now, you went to the dorm room because I assume that the investigators or the rest of the people with the GBI had told you they believed that might be where the crime scene was, correct?
Yes, that's where the child came from. So that's...
Did they tell you they believed that was where the incident occurred when the child got harmed?
From my understanding, I mean, when I went, we didn't have any indication of where the child had been harmed, but that was where the child was taken from, so it was my job to go and document the scene as we found it.
And so when you went to that scene as a crime scene specialist, you wanted to collect any evidence that you felt like it had any bearing whatsoever on this case, correct?
Anything that could have told the story of what may have harmed the child.
Yes. So one thing that you'd look for is to see if there was any type of item that might have been used as a weapon to harm the child, correct?
Sure.
And in taking evidence in and photographing, you didn't find anything in that dorm room that you believe would have been used as an instrument to harm the child, did you?
No, and I mean, like in this kind of case, anything can be used as a weapon, but nothing stood out as like a weapon that was used. And that was one of the reasons I looked in the trash bags too, was to see if something was in there that, maybe somebody threw out to get out of the room, because we see that in criminal cases where somebody will dispose of something. And I didn't see anything in the trash bags, and I didn't see anything in the room, no.
So you didn't see anything like a paddle or a baseball bat or something that would be used to hit somebody, correct?
No, sir.
And in looking through the room, you didn't find any blood evidence anywhere in the whole dorm, did you?
No, sir, I didn't.
And you didn't find any bodily fluid evidence anywhere in the dorm room either, did you?
Just that stuff that was on the carpet that was right outside that looked like it may have been vomit or something. I'm not sure what it was. It was not blood, I know that. But I mean, it could have been vomit, I'm not sure.
And that's the problem you have with that is that was not tested, correct?
Correct.
So there's no way for you to say with any certainty what the substance was on that mat, correct?
That's correct.
And so that's just pure speculation of whatever it might be, right?
Right. I have test kits for like blood, and I can test it to see if it is blood, but there's no test kit for vomit.
Well, there's certainly test kits that do exist, or tests that do exist that could determine whether or not that was a fluid from a human being if it was done correctly, correct?
You'd have to specify the fluid from the human being.
Well, if you tested that substance that was on that carpet and you asked someone, a lab, to test it for DNA, could they do that?
Probably not.
You do not think it could be tested for DNA?
You can test it, but you don't get a result from stomach contents. You don't get a DNA result from stomach contents. That's why you also don't get it from feces. So if we send feces to the lab for DNA, they send it back to us because it's typically not in the feces.
Well, you stated you didn't take it in to test for whatever reason. You don't know for sure what the substance is, but we do know one thing. The rug that you looked at was left there in the dorm when you got through, was it not?
Yes, sir.
And you asked some questions about the chair, on whether or not you took it into evidence, and did you take it in and test it or anything, and you said no, correct?
Correct.
But at the same time, that chair was still left at the dorm, was it not?
That's correct.
And you were asked about various other items, that why didn't you take them in, or you could have taken them in, such as the items of cola that were on the table and those type things. You still just left them there at the dorm, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Now, the one difference between all of those items and the dirty diapers that you asked about is that those dirty diapers have now been disposed of and we don't know where they're at, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, these other items, if there was some testing needed to be done or some reason to bring them in the courtroom, for all practical reasons, we can still bring them in here and let the jury see them or test them or do whatever it is, correct?
To be fair, I don't know what happened to any of the other items in that dorm room.
Well, obviously, if someone could have thrown them away after you left, correct?
Correct.
But as far as Trinity Poague, it's her room. If she wanted to preserve those items after you got through, she would have been able to gather them up and take them with her, correct?
Correct.
So if she wanted to bring that pink chair in this courtroom to show its height, she'd be able to do that, wouldn't she?
Yes.
The 40-inch bed, she would be able to bring it in, I guess, if she really wanted to, correct?
Sure.
Or show a picture of her measuring, whatever, right?
Sure.
But at the same time, you have to acknowledge when it comes to these diapers, they're gone, right?
Yes.
I mean, you didn't throw them away physically and burn them, but you left them in a dumpster and then they were picked up and taken off to the trash dump at some point, correct?
That's correct.
They're long gone.
Sure.
And you did know at the time that you looked at these diapers that sometimes there can be blood in fecal matter, didn't you?
There can be.
I mean, you've testified in some of your investigations, you've done that, where there was blood found in a human being from sickness or illness, and that was available, correct?
Yes.
And there are tests to actually check to see if there's blood in fecal matter. A hemoccult test can be done to test for blood in fecal matter, can it?
I'm not aware of it, but I mean, maybe it can.
You don't doubt that there's some test available to do that, do you?
I mean, if I saw something in there that looked like blood, I could have tested it with the test kits that I have in my truck. But
Yeah.
I didn't see anything that appeared to be even remotely close to blood.
Well, I'm going to hand you what I've marked first as defendant's exhibit number 1.
Sure.
And I've already given a copy to the district attorney. May I approach? Yes, sir. Hey, Gibson, does that appear to be one of the photographs you took of the diapers that you found within the dumpster?
Yes, sir.
And that's the threesome you talked about, the 3 diapers that you found in one area?
Right. There was these 3 were in one trash bag, and there was a single one in another trash bag.
So those are the 3 that were together, correct?
Yes.
Now, those 3 pictures show a diaper that's together that's, you can't tell what the contents are, correct?
Correct.
So that's how you originally found it.
That's correct.
But that is an accurate depiction of what you saw in photograph that day?
Yes, sir.
And is that those diapers the ones that were thrown back into the garbage dumpster and are now gone?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'd move for Defendant's Exhibit 1 to be introduced into evidence.
Any objection to Exhibit 1?
No, sir, I thought it was admitted yesterday, actually.
Well, it was in our hearing, but I don't know if that qualifies.
That's right. It was not,
All right, so
no
it's-
objection.
It's admitted without objection.
Can you show that, please?
Yes.
So is that the photograph I'm showing you, Defendant's Exhibit 1?
Yes, sir, it is.
Leave it up. It just disappeared on me.
It's always an adventure with our computers.
It's okay if you can't get it.
Try to plug in your HDMI.
Do what?
Unplug the HDMI cord, plug it back in, see if that'll reset it.
So, again, that's the photograph of the 3 diapers that you took in before they were opened up.
Yes, sir.
Now, after you took that photograph, I'm gonna hand you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit number 2. I've given, Mr. Lamb a copy of that as well, Your Honor. Does that depict, are you familiar with that photograph?
Yes, sir.
Is that a photograph you also took?
Yes, sir.
And it depicts the diapers after they've been opened up, correct?
Yes, sir, it does.
And I believe you testified 2 of them looked like they had some type of urine in them, correct?
Right.
But the 3rd diaper seems to have a dark substance that appears to be fecal matter, correct?
Yes, sir.
And would you agree with me that it has a dark brown, reddish color to it?
I don't see a reddish color. I see brown.
Would you agree with me that that is a coloration that does not appear to be normal for fecal matter?
No.
You don't find that to be in any way suspect that it possibly could have blood in it?
No.
Now, do you agree with me, though, if you took it in and had it tested, you could positively determine whether or not it had blood in it?
Based on the testing that you recommended, maybe so. Like I said, I'm not familiar with that testing. But when I was there on scene and I saw it, it did not appear to have any blood in it.
Now, your duties as a crime specialist, I believe one thing you said you took 1 week of crime scene preservation, correct? You had 12 weeks as an agent, 1 week was crime scene preservation.
Well, yes, during agent school, there is 1 week of basic crime scene preservation, yes, sir.
And I don't mean that's the only amount of crime scene preservation
Okay.
training you had, but I just mean that's one of the things you got, right?
That's correct.
And the purpose of crime scene preservation, as we've stated before, is to save anything that might have relevance to the case, correct?
That's correct.
And in doing that, would the axiom be correct that if it's in doubt, go ahead and save it each time?
Yes,
So you want to err on the side of caution, correct?
yes.
But in this case, when you've got a dirty diaper that does have a bodily fluid in it, we know, that could possibly be tested by your own admission, you did not seem to think it was important enough to preserve it, correct?
Well, the testing was by your admission, because I was unaware of that, but based on what I saw, I didn't see any blood in the diaper. And I had a test kit on me where I could test for blood, but I didn't see any blood in the diaper.
Now,
Or I didn't see anything that appeared to be blood in the diaper that I could test.
you were aware that this case involved a child that had suffered injuries, correct?
Yes.
Had they told you he had suffered internal injuries?
I'm sorry?
Had they told you he had suffered internal injuries?
They didn't, but, I mean, based on not seeing anything on the outside, I assumed that it must be internal.
And in your training and your expertise in dealing with violent crimes over the years that you've been doing so, you're aware that sometime when someone has internal injuries, they begin to bleed throughout the digestive system and it comes out the other end, correct?
It's possible.
And knowing that that's possible, you would certainly be aware that if a child has received injuries that are internal, there's some possibility that that child could be passing blood throughout the body, correct?
I guess it's possible.
And with knowing that it's possible, wouldn't it make sense for you to take that diaper in and to be cautious and not to err, to make sure that that evidence was available to be tested?
I stand by what I did. I did not see any reason to collect it at the time. If I knew this was going to be a question now, just like I would do with anybody else, I've collected things just because somebody thought that it may be important and it gets collected and nothing is ever done with it. But that was not important at the time and it was not collected.
And one thing's for sure, there's no way for us to test it now, is there?
That's correct.
Now, in your testing, I'd already asked you about finding blood or bodily fluids and that type thing. Did you find any other type evidence there at the scene that would help you in any way to identify where any injury could have occurred to a child?
No, I didn't.
So in all the testing, you came up 0 for all of that, correct?
Right.
Now, did you look on the walls of the dorm to see if it appeared someone had been pushed against or slammed against or anything like that?
I mean, there was no damage to any of the walls or anything. I mean, if somebody had touched a wall, I mean, I guess somebody could have touched it, but there was no signs of a struggle or anything like broken drywall or anything like that in the dorm room, no.
And no fluids or anything on the wall to cast suspicion?
No, sir.
And so from an evidentiary standpoint, nothing was collected that was really of any use to determine what happened, correct?
That's correct. This was more of as far as what I was doing within the crime scene was a documentation type case where you go and photograph everything there, hoping that photographs may tell you something later with somebody's story, because there's just not a whole lot there that really looks out of place. It looks like a college student's dorm room.
And you knew that when you got there that the room had been secured, correct?
Yes, sir.
And as far as your knowledge was that from the time that that Trinity Poague had left that room to go to the hospital, from that moment on, she had not been back to the room, correct?
I was unaware of that. I know campus security is the one that let me in the room. So what happened between when I got there and when she left, I assume they kept it locked. There was crime scene tape there, but
You saw nothing that would raise your suspicion that the room had been tampered with, did you?
no, sir.
Now, the allegations were that this was a violent injury to the child. Are you aware of that?
I mean, it would have to be a violent injury to cause the death.
Now, in a violent injury like that, normally would consist of some blood evidence occurring somewhere, would it not?
Not necessarily.
But it could, correct?
It could.
And you didn't find any blood evidence in that dorm room, correct?
It's correct.
Now, there are ways to sometimes try to check to see if there's blood in a room when you can't see it with your naked eye, aren't there?
There are some different techniques, yes, sir.
It's one of those techniques you can put out luminol.
Yes, sir.
And luminol is a substance that you put out will glow when it's put under a certain light to let you know it's blood.
No, that's not how it
That's
works.
right?
But
Tell me how it works.
you have to get the room very dark. You mix up your luminol, you spray it in the room, and the blood and several other substances will actually luminesce. So you'll see them. The best way to describe it is if you've ever had a glow stick and you break open the glow stick, the stuff that's glowing on the inside, that's what it looks like. So it would look like that glowing inside the room.
So if
And
you saw those glows, it might not positively tell you it was blood, but it would be a possibility it was blood when it started
Correct.
glowing, right?
Correct.
And I know I've seen, and I know with you as crime technician, you've seen sometimes there may have been someone killed where a body was here, but the body's gone. Nobody knows where the body's at, but you go search the person's house, put luminol down all over the house, and lo and behold, you can almost see the figure of the body where the blood was, correct?
You can see a blood stain. If typically we use luminol or blue star is a very similar chemical. We use those two if there's suspicion that the blood's been cleaned up. Because if the blood is there and it hasn't been cleaned up, then you can just see it on the surface. But if somebody makes an attempt to clean it up, a lot of times the luminol is more sensitive and you can see where blood had been.
I mean, that's how good it is. Even when it's tried to be cleaned up with some type of cleaner, it's still, luminol will still point to you saying blood was there, correct?
Yeah, the only downside to using luminol is it's so sensitive. Like I said, it also reacts with other stuff. It works with a lot of cleaning materials and other fluids as well.
And you didn't use any luminol in this room to try to see if you could find any blood anywhere, did you?
No, sir.
That's something you could have done if you wanted to, though,
I
right?
could have.
Now, when you searched the room, did you find in the room somewhere, I believe you found a bottle of liquor, did you not?
I did.
You took a photograph of that liquor as well, did you not?
Yes, sir.
You got a picture of that? I'm going to hand you what I've marked as Defendant's Exhibit 3 and ask you, are you familiar with that photograph?
Yes, sir.
And is that the photograph you took of a liquor bottle that you found in the dorm room there?
Yes, sir.
And you just took a picture and preserved it from the photograph, correct?
That's correct.
Left the bottle there?
Yes, sir.
Does the bottle appear to be full or empty, or what type fullness does it have?
It had been opened. There's still some in the bottom, but a lot of it is missing.
And you didn't make a determination, weren't responsible of the person that would go investigate and try to determine whose bottle of liquor it was or anything like that, did you?
No, I mean it was in her room, so I mean you could place it as belonging to her, but in fact I want to say I told campus security that it was there if they wanted to do something with it, because my understanding not supposed to have it on campus, but it didn't mean anything to me in what had happened to the child.
I would move to introduce Defendant's Exhibit 3, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, sir. No objection.
All right, submitted without objection. Did you tender it to?
I don't know, but I would move to tender Exhibit 2 if I did not, Your Honor.
They're both admitted without objection.
Thank you. That's all the questions I have, Your Honor.
Redirect.
When you observed the body of J.D. Angeles at the hospital, I think I already asked you this, did you notice any external bleeding?
No, sir.
Now, if you looked at a deceased person's body, and you know there's a big gaping stab wound or their throat's been cut, and you see something like that on the person's body, would it be more important to you in a circumstance like that to say, well, wait a minute, we got to figure out where this happened, because you know there would be blood there, right?
Right. If I'd seen blood to begin with, then I may have been looking for blood, like in the dorm room. But yeah, I didn't see any blood on the body.
I mean, and so if you don't see any blood on the body, I mean, that's not necessarily going to alert you that there may be blood in this room, is there? Is it?
I'm sorry.
I said, if you don't see blood on the body, then there wouldn't be anything to alert you that there might be blood in the room, would there?
Right. And I mean, I still look for it, but as far as like going back and looking for possibly cleaned up blood with luminol or any other chemicals, it wasn't something that I did because I had no indication that blood was a factor.
If you observe anything that appears to you to be a blood stain, whether it's new or old or anything else, if you see something at a crime scene that appears to be a blood stain, what do?
I would document it and typically collect a sample of it so that I could see who it came from.
Are there some crime scenes where people die that just look like a normal room?
Yes.
Are there some crime scenes where people die that you can't find evidence of how they died in the room itself?
Yes.
Your observation of the child's bruises and so forth, would you substitute your judgment about the extent and significance of the bruising for that of physicians who treated or examined the child?
No, in fact, I mean, my purpose for photographing the victim is to photograph it showing the condition that it was in when I got there. When the victim is placed in a bag and goes to autopsy, and it may be the following day or even 2 days later, the condition may be slightly different, at least on the outside, and so I want to photograph that while the victim is there. It's the medical examiner's job to find out as far as internal injuries or what may have caused the death. What I saw that looked like a bruise on the victim's head underneath the hair, I don't have a way of investigating to see what that is. I just document the condition that I found it. They would do an autopsy and determine if that bruise could have caused the death or if there's something else going on.
If Trinity Poague is in fact under the age of 21, then it'd be illegal for her to possess alcohol, wouldn't it?
Yes.
And that being a crime, why wouldn't you take this bottle and send it off for fingerprints to determine if she had ever held it?
Because I was working a death investigation and not an underage drinking case.
No further questions, John.
Any recross?
No, Your Honor.
All right, may this witness be excused?
Yes.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Lamb, you can call your next witness.